Hey YouTubers, a few days ago Nick Cannon was hospitalized after performing at Madison Square Garden. He was rushed to the hospital and was diagnosed with pneumonia. This according to BET News. So on Friday, Nick issued a dire warning to fans after his brush with this major health scare. He wrote in an Instagram post, he said, "Okay, so I guess I'm not Superman. I promised myself I would never be back at this place again." And I took that to mean because he's wearing so many different hats. He's got so many jobs. He's got so many things that he has on his plate that he has pushed himself and pushed himself, so he has gotten sick. His immune system was down, and when your immune system is down in this flu season, you're bound to get sick. And if you're not eating adequately, resting adequately, and not taking care of yourself overall, you are bound to come down with something, either a flu, pneumonia, or something. So, what is pneumonia? Pneumonia is actually a lung infection, and it can be caused by various viruses, bacteria, molds, fungi, etc. And these microorganisms can enter either the mouth, the nose, and once they enter your body and get into your lungs, they can multiply very, very quickly because it's a nice, dark, and damp place. And they love that environment. And once they start multiplying, they cause infection. Labored breathing is often the first sign of a person who has developed pneumonia because the lungs are infected. Of course, you're not going to be able to breathe properly. You may develop blush skin. You know, that pale look to your skin because the oxygen level in the blood decreases, causing the skin to take on this bluish pale tint to it. So according to the Mayo Clinic, this is a very, very common sign in young children. You may have chest pain. That's another common sign, and that's due to the inflammation of the lung tissue. Chest pain might get worse, especially when you breathe in, accompanied by coughing, shortness of breath, or fever. So with all that going on, inflammation, you're going to have that shortness of breath. You're going to have that pain in your chest. You're going to have the fever. So definitely you're going to know something is wrong, and you're going to get yourself to the first doctor or the hospital. As in any disease process, early diagnosis is key. Early diagnosis means early treatment. You may experience chills or fever. The body temperature suddenly drops and you begin to feel cold. And chills often accompany with a fever. That, along with the coughing and the chest pain and the pain upon inhalation, the doctor will be able to diagnose that you have pneumonia. Because chills alone does not definitely tells you you have pneumonia. Because remember, if it's cold, you're going to be chilled. But the chills accompanying other symptoms is the smoking gun. And if you have that infection in the lung, you're going to have that fever. And fever is one of the most common signs of pneumonia. So a fever is defined, according to the Mayo Clinic, as the body temperature that is above the normal range. So 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher is considered a fever, according to the Mayo Clinic. So a fever usually occurs when the body is fighting off an infection. Whenever you have an infection, you notice, folks, that you have that elevation in your body temperature because your body is doing what the body is supposed to do. It's supposed to heat up in order to kill those germs, bacteria, viruses, etc. So a fever is a very slippery slope when you have a fever, because a fever can be a good thing in order for your body to fight off those bugs, those viruses and bacteria when they invade your body and they cause infection. But if that fever gets too high, you can get a seizure. So it's always good to check your body's temperature whenever you have a fever to make sure it's not over that 100.4 mark. Once you get to that 101, you're in danger of maybe getting a seizure, and you got to bring it down. You got to follow doctor's orders in order to bring that fever down. But the most important question is, what? Can you die from pneumonia? And the answer is yes. A lot of people die every year from pneumonia because they're slow to act. They did not know they have pneumonia because there's something called walking pneumonia. When you have pneumonia, but you don't know you have it. But the most important thing to remember, folks, is that pneumonia does not go on vacation and take a holiday. It's around year round. So a lot of people think, oh, it's only you can get it in the cold season. No, you can get it at any time. Because remember, what is causing it? It's a virus, bacteria, or other foreign invaders. So you can get it at any time. As a matter of fact, according to the Mayo Clinic, it is most commonly caught when you're about and around and about your everyday life, doing your everyday business, in your neighborhood, in your community. It is spread from person to person through close contact, by sneezing or coughing. So Nick, who has been diagnosed with lupus a couple of years ago, said that he has learned a great lesson, that he has to take care of himself in order to take care of everyone else, especially his children. So Nick started to reflect, and he said, it's crazy because last night I was rocking to a sold-out crowd at Madison Square Garden, and now I'm laying up in this hospital bed in this tiny room with no audience, me, myself, and I. He said life is such a roller coaster. So his hospitalization comes as he's expecting his 12th child with the model Elisa Scott. They lost their son Zen back in December of 2021 when he was just 5 months old. So everyone was wondering, when is Nick going to stop growing his family? And he told Billboard, this 12th child might be his last. But no one knows for sure, not even Nick, because when asked the question about if this is going to be the last child by Billboard, he said, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I think I'm good right now. But that was very ambiguous. In my opinion, it was very ambiguous because it had a double meaning to me. You can draw more than one interpretation by his answer. So back in 2012, he was diagnosed with lupus kidney disease. This is why, in my opinion, Nick is so strong when it comes to family and building his family and having as many children as he wants to have, because he don't know when his time is going to be cut short, because having a kidney disease is no joke. It's nothing to be played with. So 10 years ago, just about 10 years ago, Nick was diagnosed with lupus. And lupus is an autoimmune disease. The body is actually fighting itself. According to the Mayo Clinic, lupus is a chronic, meaning lifelong, long-lasting. That's what chronic means. Persisting for a long time or constantly reoccurring. It's a chronic inflammatory disease which occurs when an individual's immune system attacks the tissues and the organs of their own body. And lupus can affect the joints, the skin, the kidneys, blood cells, brain, heart, lungs, etc. In other words, any part of the body it can really affect. So what it is it's chronic inflammation. And when you have inflammation, you have a lot of pain. Lupus does not discriminate. It attacks men, women, children, teenagers, In other words, any and everybody can come down with lupus at any age. So Nick's lupus attacks his kidney. He has this inflammation of the kidney. So after various kidney failures and 2 blood clots to his lungs, now he gets pneumonia. So he has been fighting this battle for years when it comes to health issues. But Nick says that he is blessed to be alive. And indeed, with so many ailments, I am telling you, you gotta be blessed when God gives you another day. And when, in Nick's case, he's among all his children, all 12 of them. So Nick said he had never heard of lupus until he was diagnosed with it. He said when he first heard from the doctors that he had lupus, he said, wow, what is that? Because he had never heard of lupus before. And I think for a lot of us heard it the first time when Toni Braxton said she had lupus and it was affecting her heart. It attacks her heart. So I guess in the words of Nick Cannon, I'm not Superman, is so poignant because, folks, none of us are Superman, okay? But when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. So speedy recovery to Nick Cannon. And YouTubers, on that note, I'm over now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.